Okay, so last time we started with the presentation skills. Okay, and first of all, this is about me. So presentation should be taken as a formal event. Okay, and everything should be pre-planned. The schedule, the mode of delivery, the time, the method of presentation, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it should be taken as a formal event. Okay, and we discussed some of the purpose of giving a presentation. Okay, general items, and then we moved on to the four stages of giving a good presentation. So it starts with planning. You need to plan why you are giving the presentation, to whom you are giving the presentation, what you would include, and so on and so forth. Then you start writing the content. So you have to do some research. You have to collect some data. Okay, so you don't just dive into the presentation. You have to prepare the content which you are going to put in the presentation. Okay, so that's the second stage. Then the third stage is designing the presentation. Okay, so in designing the presentation, the color scheme is important, the fonts are important. Okay, and you have to include things which will attract the attention of the listeners. Okay, for example, multimedia. For example, instead of using text, try to use more figures and pictures and so on. Okay, and then we were at the last stage, which is about giving the presentation. Okay, so on the presentation day. So all the first three steps are before, advance. Okay, so you can see for a good presentation, three things before. Okay, three things before the presentation day. Only one thing which will happen on the presentation day. Okay, so the presentation itself has how much part? 25%, right? 75% is what will happen before the presentation. Okay, so in the last part we have discussed, basically we saw a video about the body posture. Okay, how you are going to use the body language. Okay, how you should relax, how you should stand, how you should use your hands and shoulders and feet and so on. And we also touched upon the importance of, let me get there. So we also touched upon the importance of rehearsing your presentation, practicing it. Okay, and practicing it in a formal manner. Okay, practicing doesn't mean that you have your laptop in front of you and just reading or memorizing the terms. No, you have to practice your body language, your voice coordination. Okay, your hand gestures. Okay, so you can do it in front of a mirror. You can do it in front of your friends. Okay, so rehearsing in a formal manner which will benefit you during the presentation. Just memorizing the words is not enough. Sometimes you know things, but when you come in front of the audience, you get confused, you get stressed. Last year there was a girl and this happened to her and she said, no, I will not present today. And she was a very, very good student. And later on when she presented, she was, very confident. Presentation was also very good. Okay, but when she came for the first time in front of the class, and obviously class means her friends, right? The people whom she was throughout the semester. So even in front of those people, she was getting confused. Okay, so that's why rehearsing is important in a formal manner. Okay, standing in front of someone, or at least in front of the mirror. Okay, at least. These are some things to remember what you are going to say without reading the slides. Okay, so you can make a memory palace in your mind that I will talk about this. Okay, you can write down the points. You can, So we talked about this much. Okay, and so both these points are about your appearance and how you would be speaking in front of the audience. Okay, and we also looked at this video. Okay, so in a good presentation, you have to start strong. Your start will decide whether people should pay attention to you or they will start looking at other things. Okay, and nowadays with our phones, it's very easy to get distracted. Okay, and you know that this phone is what? An addiction, right? Once you start looking at it, then you cannot take your eyes off the phone, right? So maybe somebody who is sitting in front of you, he has or she has this addiction. Okay, so the way you started, it forced him or her to take the phone out. Maybe after 2 minutes, you caught up and now you are presenting very well. But you have already lost your audience. They are already looking at what is happening on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and so on, and WhatsApp. Okay? Because you force them with your start to look for other options, right? So from the start, you have to make sure that they are not engaged into anything else, because when they are sitting, when you start, they are at that very moment, at that very second when you start, they are actually looking at you. For that point, you are something new. Okay, so they may think, okay, let's see, maybe it's interesting. But if you don't start strong, then okay, let me look for something else now. Okay, so you can either make the audience sit up in their seats attentively, or you can make them relaxed and sleepy and boring and so on. Okay, so it's a good thing. One of the ways to start strong is you state or tell them about the objectives of your presentation, objectives of today's event, what we will learn today, what new information you are going to give them today. So some of them may understand that it's important for them, and then they would pay attention. Okay, or for some of them it would be of interest. Okay, and then they would pay attention. Some other techniques to have a strong start: you start with a personal story. Okay, so I was coming from my home and there was a guy who came in front of me. I nearly had an accident and so on, but it didn't happen. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Okay, so when you say something like this, people then you get their attention. Okay, make a provocative statement. Everybody will be getting an F, something like this. Okay, share a shocking fact or statistic. Traffic accidents cause more deaths than any other disease in the world. Okay, something like this. They didn't know. They are surprised now. Oh, this happens. Okay, ask a question. Okay, ask something from the audience. Okay, so how much do you know in what other subjects you have done your presentations? Have you done presentation in any other subject? No. Okay. Whatever the answer is, but now I have your attention. Okay. Start with a prop. I told you about the prop, right? Prop is a physical object. Okay, that you hold and you show to the audience and you try to explain your point using that prop. Okay. So I gave the example that in traffic engineering, when I teach traffic engineering, I have to explain the topic of bottleneck, on the roads where most of the traffic jam happens. We call them bottlenecks. So for explaining bottleneck, then I show them the bottle. Okay, because it has a bottleneck. Okay, so it becomes easier. The main thing is, it's not that if I don't show the bottleneck, they will not understand. No, but I want to get their attention. So they see something new. Okay, something else to focus on. Okay, show a video or a meaningful visual. Start with a picture, colorful picture, or a video, short video. Okay, and so on and so forth. For all these, a very good example you can see in TED Talks. Okay, so TED Talks is a series of talks. They invite many people who are famous, they are good in presentation, and so on and so forth. Okay, most of them are entrepreneurs, business owners, big rich people. You want to be rich, right? So they invite them so that you come and listen to them and so on. So they are very good with presentations. and most of them are sharing their life stories. So it goes for listening and it goes for learning as well. This guy is a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. So how did he get there? Something like this. Okay. So another thing is you have to observe your audience while you are presenting what they are doing. Okay. Did they start looking at their phones? Did they start looking outside the window? Did they start looking at their watches again and again? That means there's a problem now. They are not paying attention to you. They want to get rid of you. Not a good sign. And if you keep on going like this, your whole presentation will be ruined. Okay, you did your job, but the audience didn't listen to you. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are constantly observing them. Okay, so some of the signs, you see people getting restless in their seats. Okay, they are changing posture again and again. When somebody is listening attentively, normally they are still calm. Okay, so they are sitting in their seats very calm. Okay, but when they are not listening, they are very active. Okay, unless you are having a physical training session or something, then you don't want them to be calm, right? Or yawning or looking at their phones and so on. What can we do to recapture their attention? You can again ask a question. You can change the subject. Maybe I was talking about something which is too technical. Sometimes I see people skipping some slides forward. Okay, because this is getting boring. If I keep on going like this, even the good stuff people will not listen to. So let me skip this boring stuff. Let me get to something which is more interesting. Okay. Tell them a joke. Learn few jokes. Make sure it's new every time. Okay. Get people to stand up or do some activity. Okay, it happens. Okay, so you feel, especially 8 AM classes. Okay, or the postgraduate classes we have at 4 PM in the evening, and they are 3 hours classes. Okay, because people are tired, and either they are sleepy or tired or fatigued. Okay, so you get them moving. You can ask them to stand up, shake hands, okay, change their seats, do something physically. Okay, so it will stimulate them. Okay, when they are doing something physically, it will stimulate them. If they are bored or sleepy, it will go. And for that 10-second activity, maybe it's a 10-second activity. For those 10 seconds, they are paying attention to you, what you are saying. Because you are telling them, okay, now stand up, do this, do this. For those 5-10 seconds, they are paying attention to you. Because they don't want to be left behind. Everybody is standing up, they are sitting. You don't want to do that, right? It's embarrassing. So for those 5-10 seconds, you get their attention. So hopefully it will continue. Even after the activity is finished, it will continue. Okay? Take a break if you have enough time. Sometimes it is natural. You cannot listen to a guy, or you cannot sit in your seats listening to anything, even if it is interesting. Okay, but you cannot keep on going on and on. So in many cases, a break is good. Okay. Now a break can be a break. So you tell them, okay, we will have a break, we'll meet after 5 minutes, and 5 minutes, do whatever you want. Go to toilet, drink water, have coffee, okay, sleep, run, whatever. But you will continue after 5 minutes. A real break, right? Or a break can be what we discussed earlier. Okay, so I was talking and talking and talking for 20 minutes. Now let us watch a video. So it's a break. It's a break from what you were doing and from what they were listening to. So it's a break. Okay. Or let us have an online quiz, like a poll, opinion, something like this. Okay. So a break. This is also a sort of a break. Okay. So a break from what you were doing. Breaking the sequence, breaking the routine in whatever way you can. Okay. So if you are not getting the attention, you feel the audience is sleepy or bored or stressed, We break the routine in one of these ways. Okay, invite questions from the audience. Okay, very easy. Do you have any questions? And hopefully one of them will ask a question. Okay, even if they don't ask a question, when somebody is standing in front of you and he says, okay, do you have any questions? Now what will happen? When I say, do you have any questions? What will happen? Maybe in the end you don't ask any question. But when I said, do you have any question? What happened with you?
Start thinking of questions.
You start thinking, maybe should I ask a question? Okay? So people then wake up or shift their attention. So you can see in all these points, the purpose is not to, that each and every word of you should start talking and participating. No, the purpose is to recapture the attention, okay, to shift the attention toward yourself during the presentation, okay. But the first step was you have to observe your audience. If you don't know what is happening with them, obviously you don't do any of these things. And with the grace of God, if everything is going well, people are paying attention, you feel they are attentive, they are participating in any ways, then you continue, okay, but don't relax. Just because something happened in the first 5 minutes which was good, it doesn't mean that now I can relax and do whatever I want during the presentation. No. Okay, you have to still keep your spirit high. Okay, don't look tired and relax. Okay, now everything is in my control and I can do whatever I want. No, still keep on working hard. Okay, keep on working hard. Okay, memorable presentation should be authentic and it should be vulnerable. Meaning what? Don't try to be someone else. Okay, don't try to be someone else. A very good example, someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer. What do you do? This is authentic and vulnerable. I am a human being. I don't know everything. Okay, this is authentic and vulnerable. In some cases, yes.
Shouldn't we say it in a diplomatic way?
What?
You say that.
I don't have the answer right now.
No,
I will look for it.
Oh, okay.
What else? Okay, give me your idea.
You could like give a little bit of a background and then say, but I don't know about this exactly.
Okay, you can do it. Okay. In any case, don't try to make up things because this will break your confidence. That one question in which you try to make something up from your own, okay, I shouldn't look bad, I shouldn't admit that I don't know. So you try to make up things from your own mind. So you will waste your time. People are very smart, they will know that you don't know. Even if you say something and they let you go, okay, go forward, no problem. But they know that you don't know. Okay? And you yourself, obviously, the most important person in the room is who? You yourself. So you know that you don't know. Okay? So now you are under pressure, under stress. Okay? And somebody wants to roast you. He will come back again with another question from the same topic after 2 minutes because 2 minutes ago you didn't say I don't know.
Or he will look it up.
Huh?
Or he will look it up and tell you that wrong.
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. But normally people don't do this. If you didn't do, why should they do? It was your job to inform them about it, right? You didn't do it. You didn't do your job. It's not their job. Okay. Normally people don't do that. But okay. But the important thing is, don't try to pretend to be knowing something which you don't know. First of all, okay. Don't try to be someone else. Behave in like someone else, and you cannot do it. Okay. So there are So you listen to someone and he tells a lot of jokes and so on, okay, or he does something with his hands and so on, which you like, okay, but you know you haven't done it, you have never done this thing before, okay, you never tell jokes in your class or during your presentation, okay, you may try it, but there's a very high chance that you will fail doing it. Instead of making it better, you may make it worse, okay. So again, a very obvious example is with the English language and accent, right? I have seen very good presentations in the last 1 year since I have been teaching this course and some other courses like this. I have seen some very good presentations, okay? Like in terms of the content and the design, they are very good, okay? I don't know how, but they are very good, okay? But the person who is standing in front of the presentation, he is not even half as good at the presentation, okay? So I keep on telling them, if you cannot use a word, you do not know a particular word, why should you include it in your presentation? Why? Because I heard him doing this, I saw him or her doing this, so I should include it as well. No, it doesn't happen like this, okay? You should know your limitations, okay? I have seen many good presenters and they mix the language. So they are presenting in English and all of a sudden they will say a sentence in Urdu or Arabic, okay, just to explain themselves. This is how they are, okay? So we have a very big complex with the English language, right? We should be perfect with the English language and our accent and so on. If you practiced enough, you learned enough, you trained yourself enough, and now you are at this stage, go ahead, no problem. If you have worked hard for it for years and years, now we have people who do this. It comes to them very naturally. You will not know whether they are from Pakistan or Bahrain or from US or UK. You don't know because they are so good at it. But if you are not, don't try to pretend to be someone who you are not. Okay? Be in your personality. Okay? Whatever you know. This is for the time of presentation. Remember, all these things are for the time of presentation. Okay? If you want to train yourself to be a good speaker, okay, you want to work on your voice, you want to work on your grammar, you want to work on your vocabulary, when you should do it? During the presentation? Should I do it during the presentation? No, it should be done before. So if you didn't do it before, during the presentation, don't try something new. This is what I'm saying. Okay? Now you are what you are, that's it. During the presentation, be what you are, and that's it. Okay, so this is what we mean by being authentic and vulnerable. When you be yourself, you will have some hiccups, okay? You will mess some words, you will not pronounce them correctly, okay? You will get stuck somewhere, it will happen. It does happen, okay? But this is what you are, okay? So, successful presenters are authentic, even if they are not perfect. If they are making mistakes, these are their own mistakes. I'm making mistakes because I'm from Pakistan. Yeah, this is how I speak English. That's it. I cannot change it. Okay, unless I work hard on it. Okay, and try to be relatable. Relatable means what? You give examples or talk about things which are common between you and the audience. Okay. So one of my teachers, he always used to start, and we, obviously we were students, so I don't know about you guys, but we used to, mimic our teachers. In the end, at the end of the year, we used to have a big function, okay, and there will be some students who will come and they will be, acting like their teachers, okay, mimicking them and so on. So one of our teachers, he always used to come and he always used to tell us, first lecture of any class, he will tell us, Many years ago, I used to be sitting in those seats. Whenever he started any course, this was his first sentence. Okay, so now you know how we feel, right? You were in these seats then. Okay, now you know how we feel. Okay, so this is what we mean by relatable, grounded. Okay, he is from you. He has something in common with you. Okay, so he knows how you feel and so on. Okay. So instead of hiding their failures, imperfections, insecurities, if they have a problem, they are open to it. Okay, I have this problem. Okay. Talk too fast, too loud. I know I talk too loud. I know. I used to take classes on the first floor, and my friend's office is, on the other side. So they told me, now we know everything about traffic engineering because we sit in our office while you are giving the lecture. So I know I'm too loud. That's who I am, right? Okay. So any imperfection, failure, you are not afraid of it. During the presentation, you know about them and you are open to share it. Okay, and so on and so forth. So when you share these things with your audience, you create an emotional connection. Okay, someone would think you are funny. Someone would think you are, it's sad that you have this problem and so on. Okay, something like this. Once the audience finds you relatable, that you have something in common, they will pay more attention. Okay, so for example, in a TED talk, Brené Brown, I don't know who she is. Okay, but this girl, she started revealing that when she came up on the stage for her first talk, she was very embarrassed. Okay, and then later on, after giving the first talk, she did not leave her house for 3 days. So this is how she started giving the next talk, telling the audience what happened before. Okay, why? This is not important for the audience to know. Okay, but by doing this, she was telling them that, yeah, I am one of you and I do have problems of my own. Okay, so the emotional connection, basically. Okay, then the last thing is you conclude on a high. Try to conclude on a high. So we talked about you should rehearse before the presentation. You should start strong during the presentation. Keep an eye on the audience. Okay, and then what was this? Yeah, how you behave during the presentation, so people can think that you are from themselves. Okay, you are not coming from Mars. Then the last thing is that you conclude very strong. Okay, how do you conclude very strong? That you leave them thinking about something, about their future actions. Okay, at the end of your presentation, what they can do about themselves, what they learned from your presentation, which they can implement in their presentation. Okay, try to find out something like this and you will conclude on that. Summarize what you have done earlier in your presentation. Okay, recap. A recap of what we have done earlier. And other things which you can include at the end of the presentation, a memorable quote, maybe from Einstein, maybe from, I don't know, Stephen Hawking, or any famous Bahraini writer? Any famous writer? Sayyid Hashim al-Bahrani. So maybe a quote from him in Arabic, doesn't matter. Okay, maybe a verse, couple of poetic lines. Drive your main points home. Okay, make a strong conclusion now. Since I presented this, now all of this means this. Okay, so try to summarize everything into one sentence, which is very strong. Okay. So I presented this. So at the end, because of my presentation or because of what I presented, because of the information which is being presented to you, I would say that we should start walking more. All of us should have a bicycle and we should start using the bicycles at least 30 minutes a day, something like this. Okay, something which is, very decisive now. Got it? Very strong, very decisive. This is what we mean by drive your main points home. Give them the last conclusion, okay? What they can do in the end. Maybe you can close with a story. Okay, story always works, right? I told you last time. Movies are stories, cartoons are stories. We have novels and story books and so on. So stories in all forms, it works, right? Okay. So use a strong call to action. Okay, so this is related to driving the main points home. So now what you should start doing from today onwards. Call to action. Okay. If you did your job correctly, then there should be some questions. Okay. If you engaged people, if they listen to you, then there should be some questions or some discussion. Okay. So you should leave enough time at the end so that the audience can have their questions and feedback and discussion. Okay. So when you are answering questions, be honest that you already discussed. Okay. So you have to be honest during the presentation and at the end of the presentation. Okay, if any questions, biased questions are put forth, then you have to re-articulate it. Okay, so for example, sometimes I get a chance, or many times I got a chance to present in front of an audience where there were some people from the government sector, the traffic department and so on, and there were some people who were from the transport industry, drivers, truck drivers, taxi drivers, company holders and so on. Okay, so and it gets very tricky at that time because you know how the industry and the government are, right? This is because of them, this is because of them. We are doing everything correct, they are putting more taxes on us. The government say they are not following the law and so on and so forth, right? It gets very conflicting. Okay, so if a question comes like this, okay, Dr. Munaf, what do you think about the increase in taxes on gas? There are some people who are sitting from the government. Obviously, they are in favor of the taxes, right? Right? So before I answer the question, if I answer the question directly, those people will jump on me. They will not let me finish. How are you taking their side? And it happened, literally it happened. A guy, he did not let me finish. Okay. In fact, I was showing a video and I just spoke one sentence, like half a sentence, which was, vaguely going against them. I was not even directly pointing at them. It was a video from US and those guys were from Pakistan. You see, no connection. I was showing them how accidents happen in general. I showed a video where an accident happened because of a truck driver, and that guy was a truck driver. And during the presentation I said, okay, this happened because of human mistake, and my human mistake was, I said this happened because of the truck driver's mistake. This guy got mad. It was like he was driving the truck in US 10 years ago. And that driver is dead. Okay? So he jumped on me. He didn't let me finish. Okay? Another presentation, I finished everything and I'm walking. And this guy stopped me. Why did you say this? You didn't give me a chance to speak. Okay? So, these type of things can happen, especially in companies. Especially in companies. You don't know, people are already in a conflict. So your boss may already have a conflict with the accounts department. You don't know. So you are presenting the budget for your project, and one of them will jump onto you. Okay? And then they don't end. They don't end. It keeps on going. It has been going on for last 5 years. Okay, so when you get a feedback or a question which you feel that it is, biased towards one side, don't just start answering it. First of all, cool it down. Cool it down. Okay, rephrase it. Okay, so somebody asking about the increase in prices. So you don't answer about increase in prices. You tell them, okay, maybe you want to maybe you are getting or you want more information about the new materials which are in the market, something like this. Okay, so when you receive a question or a feedback which is going against someone in the audience directly, you make it more indirect before you start answering it. Okay, otherwise I already told you what will happen, what can happen. Okay, it is always important to have a backup, okay, in case the presentation finishes too quickly, something goes wrong, people are not paying attention to what you already presented, and so on and so forth. In that case, you should have a backup plan in front of you. Okay, you should have a plan B, C, and D. Have as many plans as you want. Okay, if this goes wrong, what should I do? If this goes wrong, what should I do? Okay, if my projector is not working, what should I do? Okay, my laptop is not working, what should I do? I was going to have a group activity, but now there are too many students in front of me, I cannot do it. Then what should I do? Or there are too few students. Again, I cannot do a group activity. What should I do then? Okay, or I was going to give activity to each and every student, but now there are 60. So I cannot give it to each and every one of them. So what should I do? Okay, so have different plans, and you can update and your plan according to your audience, okay, or how the things are going during the presentation. Have some backup content ready, some extra content, okay, maybe some more jokes, more stories, more videos. You keep them ready so that if the time comes and other things are not working, you push something new, okay. But that thing should also be prepared in advance. So prepare for your failure as well. And if you fail, what you would do? Prepare for it. These things are not taught during the presentation. These are prepared before the presentation. Okay. So some of the problems can be location changed. So you are presenting in a class. Now they are asking you to go to a hall, a big hall. Okay. Or you were told that people will be sitting in groups, but now they are saying no, we don't have a space. They are sitting like you are sitting, okay, and so on and so forth. So you can prepare some backup questions. Again, some examples, okay, just to get your minds working. So you can prepare some backup questions, okay, to ask some additional examples, additional slides which have more pictures or videos and so on. Okay, so prepare these things in advance. Okay, this is a very good video. I think it is, the guy in the presentation in the video is also like, he's your age, and they are giving examples of bad presentation and good presentation. Most of them, they relate to you. Most of these things I see in the students. Okay, so pay attention. Okay. Can you give me a couple of points which they mentioned?
Keep good body language and don't speak in like a monotone voice, like higher and lower your voice accordingly.
Be professional and use good body language.
Okay. What else?
Don't read from your slide.
Don't read from your slides. Okay, actually, there are 3 points which are related to don't read from the slides. Don't read from the slides, so you are looking at the slide. You are not looking at the audience, you are back towards the audience. So there were 3 points. All 3 of them, they come from reading from the slides. And most of the students do it. Okay, what else? Anything good? Yeah,
Wear formal clothes.
wear formal clothes. Very difficult, right? We don't have them.
Give out handouts.
Yeah, give out handouts. Okay. Clear? Okay. Each of these points you will find, a separate body of material. Okay. For each of these points, the good points which they mentioned about the appearance and body language and about smiling and handouts and so on and so forth. For each one of these points, you will find much more details on the internet. Okay. And I already told you that even the slides, the notes in the slides, there are some hyperlinks. If you click on them, it will take you to a website and you can see more details, okay, about those points, each of these points I mentioned. Okay. Yeah, some personal notes. Okay. First thing is all these guidelines, okay, they are not prepared in a laboratory. Somebody did not take 100 presenters and put them in a machine and, ground them and came up with this. Okay, this should be this and this. Okay. Report writing and presentation, all guidelines. Report writing and presentation, all guidelines. They come from empirical observations. You saw something which looks good. So this is how you know it is good. Okay, it is as simple as that. You come for a presentation, the audience, you feel they like it. It's good. You presented something and the audience are sleeping. Whatever you are doing, maybe you thought it's the best thing I can do, but it's bad. Okay, same thing with the report. Okay, so it is all about what works, what feels and looks good to the reader and the audience. That's it. All the guidelines. Okay, so whatever looks good is good. So how do we become, or how do we get these things which are good? To write, you have to read. To write or to be a good writer, you have to be a good reader. Got it? To be a good presenter, you have to be a good listener. As simple as that. Nothing else. Clear? So you have to be at the other end to see what is good. So when you come to the other side, you know what I have to do. Okay? Some of you, I think I mentioned at the start as well in the last lecture, you will feel that I'm not making use of all the points which I just mentioned. I'm not making the use. Okay? Sometimes it's unintentional. I'm trying to improve myself. Every semester I do something with my slides, with my style and so on. I'm trying to improve. Okay? But sometimes it is intentional. I'm intentionally doing some things which, which are against the rules of good presentation and so on. Okay? Why? First of all, a teacher has a responsibility, a presenter does not have a responsibility. As simple as that. You can come at the time of exam and you can tell me, doctor, you did not explain this topic. The department can ask me that these are the objectives of your course. Why didn't you cover them? So I have responsibility and I have accountability. I'm here to deliver something. This is my responsibility. And in the end, there are people, students and staff who will ask me about it. Okay? So obviously in that case I have to, keep the fun down. Okay, if you want me to go to a school, any school, and give a like half an hour presentation, I can make it all fun and all fun and relax and hoo-ha. Okay, but I cannot do it in the class, because in the end it's not about just having fun and playing and these things, right? It's about learning as well. Okay, so I have to do some things which maybe you don't like, topics which you don't understand. Can I skip them? If I'm presenting a topic you don't like, can I skip it? No, a presenter can. If I'm a presenter, I'm here just for half an hour, then you go your home and I go my way. I can skip it. Okay, it looks boring, people are not paying attention, let me go through it. Okay, I can do it. A teacher cannot do it. You said you want to become a PhD and teacher, right?
Yes.
Okay, these are the 3 curses of a teacher. Okay, third thing is self-explanatory, and this is to be very honest, to be very, very honest, it's a problem with you guys. You go on the internet and search for lectures from any US university or from any European university, the same slides for the same topic. You will find them, they are just putting short sentences, phrases, maybe one picture, and that's it. And you listen to their lectures, some of their lectures are online, you listen to them. They are not as much detailed as what we do. I'm not taking the credit, okay? But the problem is, how many books I uploaded for this course? How many books I uploaded for this course? See, you don't know. Do you know? How many books I uploaded for this course? You don't know. So what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I know you do. Okay, but most of you don't know. Okay? One of them is a 17-page book. How many of you read it in the whole course? How many of you? None. So what you see is the slides, and then you ask me at the time of exam, doctor, if I read from the slides, is it enough? And then the time comes for final exam, and then you ask, doctor, should I read all the slides? Okay, so you see the problem? Okay, so our slides have to be self-explanatory. The definition should be there, the problem should be there, the values should be there, the standard should be there. So we cannot follow all the guidelines. Okay, so this is these are the links. You click on them, it will take you to your website. You will see videos and much more, many more things there. Okay. Now I will quickly go through some of the options. Okay, obviously we cannot explore all the options. Okay, some of the options which are good for preparing your presentation. Okay, for example, and I'm talking about Microsoft PowerPoint. There are other softwares which help you more, but this is the one which is more commonly used. Okay, and it's free for us. So anything which is free is good, right? Okay, so you go to design option and you see the different design options here. Okay, so you can pick one of these styles and it will be applied to all your slides. Okay, if you want to make your own style, then you can select the slide from here, from the side, and then you go to here, format background. Okay, so you can see you want to make the slide fill with some color, some texture, some picture. Okay, you want to put something in the background, and you can do all these things. Another good option which I use very often is the designer. Again, you can apply it to each and every slide, different design to each and every slide. Okay, and it will give the suggestion on the basis of the content of your slide. Okay, I hope it works. So I click on the slide. I click on designer, and gives me different options. I think because I'm not connected to the internet. Yeah, okay, so you should be connected to the internet. Anyways, So for example, in this slide, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 points, right? So it will give me options which are good for one heading and 4 points. If I go to the same designer for another slide, in that slide I have a heading and a table. So it will give me different options. Okay? So if you go to designer, it will give you options according to the content of your slide. Okay? This one, which are calling as themes, it will apply the same to all the slides from start to end. Okay? So you have to be, so that's why I like that one more. Okay. Transition between the slides. Okay. Transition between the slides. So when I go from this slide to the next one, how should the next one appear? Okay. So for example, I select this one. Okay. So if I was on the previous slide, so this one will appear like this. Okay. So you can select how the slide should appear, and you can control the options. Do you want it with a sound? Do you want to make it faster, slower, and so on? Animations within the slide. Okay, so you can see I applied 2 animations here. Okay, animation meaning the text will appear somehow, the text or the figure. It will not appear with the slide, it will appear after. Okay, so how you want them to appear, there are different options. For example, right now, you see when the slide appears, I have only 2 points. The next point will appear when I click it, right? And it appears like this. Okay, so you can change it. Okay, so for example, I select this one and I go here and I say appear like this. Okay, so when I come here, those 2 points, because I did them first, and then this one in a different manner. Okay, so these are the animations, and again you can control the options. Okay, there are animations available to appear the text and to disappear the text, or disappear the figures and tables and so on. Okay, you can go to slideshow and check how the presentation is working. Okay, so you can rehearse, okay, or set up a slideshow, okay, and you can do it from here as well. So you click here, it will start the slideshow, and this is how it will appear to the listeners, okay, to the audience. Okay, you can change your timing and so on and so forth. Yeah, one thing which I use is subtitles, very good for teaching purposes. Okay, so when I do subtitles, it will not work now, because even for subtitles you must be connected to the internet. I'm connected to the projector now. Okay, but when you click here, subtitles, when you go in the slideshow, whatever you are saying, subtitles will start appearing. So it's good when you say something which is complicated, audience can see you and they can also see the text. So if you missed some word or some part of my sentence, or you did not understand it, you can read it. Okay, so it starts appearing. But come on. So you see, it's trying to start it, so it will appear here. Okay, but obviously, as I said, it needs internet. Okay, so now it will not work. You can record yourself during the presentation. So you put on record. Okay, record from the beginning, record from the current slide. Okay, so you click one of these and you start recording. You present and it will record. It will record your voice, animation, and so on and so forth. But the problem with recording is you cannot go back. So it will always go forward. So for example, I'm showing you this slide. Now I want to go back to the previous slide. Record will not allow it. Okay, so when you record, you have to always go forward. And when you finish the slideshow, so for example, I wanted to show, I have 45 slides. So today I only showed how many? 10, for example. So recording will only be for 10. When you finish the slideshow, recording will finish. Clear? Okay, so this is the problem with this. Okay, so I use something which we call as screen recording. I think you guys know how it as well. Okay, last thing, you can insert different things from here. Okay, pictures and tables like we have done in Word as well. And a good thing about this is, where is it? Smart. There's one thing which is called a Smart Art. Okay, and there's one thing which is, yeah. Okay. So in some cases, you have some points, but you want to, it's a text. Okay. So for example, you want to show the organization or different departments in your organization. So in our organization, there are 20 departments. So I want to show them. I want to show their names, right? One of the ways to show them is you put their names, 20 names, or you can select one of these styles and show them as a picture. Got it? So for example, I select this one. So each department in a different box with a different color. Okay? So instead of showing 20 bullet points, I'm showing them 20 boxes. Okay? So that's why I said last time, figure catches more attention, right? A figure is better than words. So you can convert even simple text into a figure. Instead of putting the points, writing the points, put them in a specific manner. Okay? Yeah.
Where did you find this one? The figures?
Insert Smart View, Smart Art.
Thank you.
Okay? You want to create your own figures? You go here, shapes. You can create your own. Okay? In shapes, you create your own. Here, you will find templates. You just take the template. Okay? Anything else? Clear? Okay. And just one more thing, which is design, I believe. Okay, so you can insert slide numbers. Okay, so audience knows how many slides are there. Okay, insert an object, and I'm basically looking for inserting a header and a footer. So there's an option to insert the header and the footer. Yeah, here. Okay. So for example, you want to prepare slides according to a specific format, right? You want the logo on every slide, for example. You want a logo on every slide, and at the bottom you want your name. Okay. So header is the logo, and at the footer is your name. Okay. So you can come here. Okay. And then you can go to slide master. Okay. So in slide master, you can select the things, or you can design the slide as you want. So whatever I do here, it will be the same design for all the slides. Okay, so I can do it on my own. Okay, so I want here, so you can see here date, the number, I can put something here, I can put something here, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in slide master, you can go and create or design your own slides. Okay, like in terms of the things which you want on each slide. Okay, so it will appear on each slide. Yeah.
Does it apply to all slides at once, or can you like select specific slides?
I think you can. You can select slides, different slides. Okay, any other question? Okay, so there are many more options. We cannot go through them in the class. You have to practice it. You have to learn it. Okay, there are videos available. Once you start using the options, it will start giving you suggestions. You should do this. You should do this. And you can explore on your own. Okay, just try to make use of these things.